Grand Rising, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's
Still
doing
did it.
well.
Steve.
Hopefully, everyone is doing well. What I say? I did say Grand
You
Rising,
did,
didn't I?
didn't you? I was about to say you
And,
might
after
have
and
you
also
said,
that.
after you said, oh, I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna say it.
say it. I said it. I said it. I said it. I
You
said
put
it.
it in the atmosphere.
My bad. My bad. Peace, everybody. Hope everyone's doing good. Yeah. Anyway, peace, Copper Tribe or no tribe. Peace, Copper Queen. Copper Color Queen. Excuse me. Peace, Joe 47. Peace, Pamela Hall. Peace, Macadon 1. Peace to all those new subscribers and all those that are tuning in to get this good old fashioned information. So, Bones, let's go ahead and let the people know why we are on at this time in the evening. Let them have it.
Well, mainly today we decided to come back on in the evening because we had a couple of questions on the USDA programs and people wanting to know how to access it and how to go about it. So we decided it'd be easier if we just came back on and just displayed the information and the build so everybody can get it and always go back and play to it and play it back to get the information if there's anything that we missed.
Exactly. So hopefully y'all can hear me now. Somebody said I was coming in low. Trying to make sure it's not too loud. So y'all hear me now? Hear me fine now? Thank you. All
I
right,
can hear
cool.
you.
Well, of course you can hear me. You never mind. Peace, Michael Robinson. Peace, Golden Moon. I'll tell you right now. So the goal is to play the videos that's going to give you step-by-step instructions. One of them is the first one we're going to play of how to get started with the USDA. So I'll be queuing that up shortly. That way y'all will be able to see it. Let me do this.
How's everyone in the chat doing this evening?
He should be doing well. He said he came in. Michael said he came in his own cab today. That's what's up. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the browser in the link. Give me a second. We're gonna do the transition. So the first one we're playing is the update, right, Bones? USDA mortgage updates.
2019. Yeah, mortgage updates for 2019. Yeah. Hopefully this should be a lot lighter. No hard hats required.
I know, right? All right. So, give me a second. Making sure the screen is big enough so people can see it. Let's see where we at. Boy, doing this live is gonna be interesting. So alright, so I'm gonna also cut the music down while this is playing in the background so it doesn't interrupt, so y'all can hear it. All right. Go ahead, the OK button, hit the transition, and then should be good. Let me know if y'all. Let me know in the chat if you are not able to hear it or if there's a problem. So give me a few seconds and it'll start.
Thank you for joining us today. Another video brought to you by USDA Mortgage Hub. Homebuyers that have questions about the USDA rural housing loans can reach us at 1-800-691-8826 or visit the website usdamortgagehub.com 7 days a week. If you find this information useful, please be sure to hit your like button and subscribe to the channel, as programs and requirements do frequently change, so we want to make sure that you stay up to date to the latest guideline changes. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the new changes for the coming year, and also the basic highlights and program requirements that homebuyers will want to know. First, we're going to discuss some of the USDA loan highlights. This is, again, a government-backed mortgage that offers 100% financing in approved eligible locations throughout the U.S. And what we mean by eligible locations are areas that are deemed more rural in nature. This loan is geared for those areas that still meet the requirements are still deemed rural locations. And homebuyers are often surprised to learn exactly how many areas are considered rural today. We're going to talk a little bit about that, though, more in the upcoming slides. The USDA program, in addition to it being 100% financing, the program does allow the buyer's closing costs to be paid by the home seller. This helps reduce, again, the out-of-pocket expenses to the home buyer. So home buyers can have the seller pay their closing costs, or the buyer can also roll the closing costs into their loan with a supporting higher appraisal. A little example of what we're talking about below there, you can see a example being a home purchase price of $125,000. Let's say in this example, the home buyer will need approximately $5,000 for their closing costs, and then also all their prepaid impounds or escrows for taxes and home insurance. As long as the house appraises for at least $130,000 in this example, the home buyer would be permitted to roll in and include all of their closing costs into the loan. Any buyer can apply for the USDA loan. It isn't reserved exclusively for first-time home buyers. Again, move-up buyers are welcome to apply. There are no loan amount limits with the USDA loan program. A lot of government programs like FHA loan, for example, can have certain loan amount caps depending on the location in the county. USDA does not have loan amount limits. Buyers qualify simply based on their debt-to-income ratios, which we'll look at a little bit more in the coming slides. There's low monthly mortgage insurance, or more commonly known as PMI, when compared to FHA loans. So this is something to remember. If you're a home buyer that's currently looking at, or maybe even already pre-approved for an FHA loan, and if you also happen to meet the eligibility requirements for USDA, meaning the home is located in an eligible location, and also the income for the household meets the eligibility requirements, you may want to also take a look at the USDA loan. Again, even if you have a small down payment that is required for FHA, USDA is worth a second, really a closer look, just because of the savings on the mortgage insurance when compared to FHA loans. Again, many buyers are still surprised to learn exactly what locations are still considered rural. Many suburbs just outside of major metropolitan areas are still approved for the program. More highlights. The program offers, like really all government home loans, government-backed loans, offers a secure 30-year fixed rate terms. There is no early payoff or prepayment penalty. Again, like all other government loans, it's a common question we receive too, as home buyers will ask, will we be penalized if we sell our home and move? Maybe a home buyer has to relocate for a job a year or two after they purchase their home with the USDA loan. Can they move and sell that home without any penalty? Absolutely yes. There's no penalty for doing that. And again, USDA is not reserved just for first-time home buyers. Move-up buyers that are buying their second or third home, they're also welcome to apply, assuming they also meet the eligibility and qualifying criteria that's in place. Most homes for sale that are located in eligibility are okay for financing. Again, with the USDA program, it's really more about the physical location of the property and not who is selling the home. We receive that question a lot. If there's a special list of properties that are eligible or approved for financing, maybe a list by USDA. It doesn't work that way. The program is really for it can be any home seller, any buy owner type sale, any real estate company that's selling a home, or bank owned homes, distressed sales. The banks, as long as it's physically located in a USDA eligible area and the home meets the basic condition requirements that are, and again with USDA it's really similar to all the other government loan programs as far as the condition of the home. It has to be in generally good move-in condition, not perfect, but generally decent move-in condition. It can't be a complete rehabilitation type project, and all the basic safety functions, most importantly, have to be up to date. There are also refinance programs in place for homeowners that currently have a 502 guaranteed loan. Many flexible refinance programs. You can read more about that on the website, again, at usdamortgagehub.com. Some more about the USDA mortgage eligibility. Again, it's important to remember that unlike other home loans, USDA loans have a two-step process, really, where you're talking about two things regarding eligibility and then also all the qualifying requirements. Qualifying requirements are the things that have to do with the minimum credit score, job history, debt to income ratios, and savings and things like that all loans have. But in addition to that, the USDA mortgage has the eligibility requirements regarding the location of the property. Again, it has to be in a USDA approved area. And home buyers can visit the website and they can find the map, the link to the map where they can input a property address and check to see if it's eligible or not. It's very simple to do. Again, just visit the website and you'll find the links there to be able to check not only a property, but also it'll let you zoom out and kind of see an overall area, shaded area, so you have a good understanding of maybe how far or close you are to the eligible locations. Household income limits. This program does have limits or restrictions on how much income the household can make. It's important to remember that this applies to all members in the household that generate income, even if they're not listed on the loan application. The good news is there are new higher income limits that have just recently been announced, and these income limits should remain in effect through 2019. Basically, for a household of 1 to 4 members in the household, for most of the country, most of the U.S., the gross income limit is $82,700. And then for households, larger households that have 5 or more members, the income limits increase to over $109,000. And this is for standard locations. Now, certain counties, certain high-cost locations, more expensive areas, they allow for even much greater income limits. And again, you can visit the website and find the links to the income calculator. It'll take you to the USDA site where you can input, answer a series of questions, a few questions, and then it will tell you what the income limit is for your area based on the information that you provided. It will tell you the gross income limit, and again, for the 502 guarantee program. Just a little bit regarding the loan qualifying requirements. Again, this is once you determine you have you're purchasing a property in an eligible area, you've determined your household income limits are in line, you do not exceed that, you're okay there, then you want to move to the loan qualifying and make sure that you meet the qualifying requirements. And this is very similar to other programs like an FHA mortgage or maybe a conventional mortgage, where basically it's a few critical components they look at, starting with really the credit score, the income, debt-to-income ratios, and also employment history. So the credit history, USDA loans, most lenders and banks that offer the program will require a minimum 620 credit score to be eligible, and this doesn't automatically guarantee loan acceptance. That's important to remember, as there are for if you're a home buyer that may have had a serious financial hardship in recent years. You may have additional waiting periods even if you have a 620 or better credit score. So that's something that you'll need to check on with the loan specialist during the application process. Job history, again, just like most other mortgage programs that are available out there today, a 2-year solid job history would be required. That doesn't mean you have to be with the same employer. That's a question we receive. It's, do you have to be working for the same employer for a 2-year time frame? Absolutely not. You can switch employers. That's actually very common. What they want to see is that there is a pretty steady history where there is no large gaps in between jobs. If there's let's say a 6-month gap from one job to the other, they'll want to have an explanation of what happened there. And there are certain things that can be explained. Maybe there was a medical situation that you had, and you were out of work for a while. It can be a variety of things. Yeah, a 2-year history. And also we want to note that recent college graduates, if you recently finished college and you went to work after that and you don't have a 2-year job history, there are exceptions for that for recent college graduates. Income and asset documentation, again, just like most other mortgage programs, you'll have to fully document your income and assets. This means W-2s for borrowers that are regularly employed. Self-employed borrowers will have to have two full years of tax returns. So full documentation when it comes to income. Debt-to-income ratios, 30% of your gross monthly income, you shouldn't allocate more than 30% towards housing expense. And this is your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your homeowner's insurance, and any homeowners association fees that may be included. So that's the general rule of thumb with USDA mortgages. It's 30% of your housing expense. So an example would be is, let's say there's a borrower that makes they make $4,000 a month in gross income. In that situation, the borrower shouldn't be spending really more than $1,200 a month towards the housing expense. And you can, again, go to the website, and there's a handy calculator there that will help you calculate payments based on your purchase price. So you can see what the real world payments would be when you include in there the mortgage insurance and taxes and homeowners insurance costs. Common questions that will be asked during the application process. It's very simple. Really, the loan specialist will want to know things like your residence history for the past 2 years, your employment history for the past 2 years, your gross income amount, the duration, if you're getting paid biweekly or monthly. Your banking and asset information, maybe your bank account, your approximate balance in your bank account, if you have any retirement account, maybe a 401k or IRA, they'll want to know what the approximate balance is in those accounts, and then you should have account numbers associated. Your social security, your date of birth, basic contact info. Really 95% of the information is things that you probably already know by heart, and or you have it right there in front of you somewhere already. It's not too complicated as far as that information that will be asked. Also, during the application, they'll ask you a series of questions, really some yes and no questions towards the end of the application. And again, the whole process to do your application for the loan, really it takes 15 minutes to go through it. And most of the time they will tell you on the same day or the following day if if you've been approved for financing, and then they'll go over the loan approval, the amount, and all the details that you're going to want to know. Again, just some more on the documents that will be required: your last 2 years of tax returns and W-2s if you happen to be regularly employed. Last 2 months of pay stubs and bank statements. You want to hold those things, and also a copy of your most recent retirement account statement if you have a 401k or IRA. Those are generally quarterly statements, so you probably want to get your most recent quarterly statement. Renters should have their landlord's contact information for the rent verification, and also a copy of your ID or driver's license. Home buyers that have questions, of course, can reach out to us 7 days a week by visiting the website at USDAMortgagehub.com. On the website, you'll see the quick contact form, and you can simply submit that and speak to a specialist. You can also call 1-800-691-8826. Thank you for listening.
All right.
All right, so
what's going on, guys? It's Tyler. Wanted to run
Any thoughts
through
before we go to the next one?
USDA loan approval process. Basically, we've talked about the USDA loan before, credit and things like that. So USDA loans specifically. Before we go over that, remember to like,
That's
subscribe
very
to the
good
channel. We
information,
make videos
especially letting you
regarding the
know
loan process, credit,
the qualifications and the things that you would need,
also, leave a
and
comment down
basically
below.
letting you know
What type
95% of what you would
loan
need you
programs
already
end up
have
going
and
through
know.
when you purchase your first home, or do you have questions about the USDA loan in general? Anything I didn't go over? Something you would like to.
Any thoughts? No sellout.
I got some thoughts.
Oh, my bad. I'm over here double listening.
Go ahead, no sellout. You good?
I mean, I'm just, the information is out there. I like that. They're putting it out there. This is public information. Ain't no gatekeepers. 15 minutes to do the application and find out the next day. I've done plenty of nothing in 15 minutes, so I know I can do an application in 15 minutes.
at the end of the day, it's about exposing everyone to this information. This came straight off the website. Bones gets updates, so as he gets those updates, he tries to share this information with us, and we try to share with you guys and gals. At the end of the day, if you go on the website and register, you'll be able to get the same updates. Understanding that people, you're busy. There are a lot of things going on in your lives. You're living your lives. You're helping your community. You're doing your genealogy. We just thought it would be a good idea to put this information out there. Of course, it will be on the webpage and on the Grand Rising YouTube channel and the Texas Assembly YouTube channel. So that's pretty much basically all it is. So go to Moon. Yeah, all I did was type the keys, put the copy and paste the URL, and go from there. We have one more that we're going to show, which is like a little over 11 minutes, so it's more like 12 minutes. So Bones, what you can do, um, uh, you can go ahead and talk a little bit about that, and then we can go ahead and show that when you're ready.
All right, no problem. The next video we got from HUD is actually the pre-approved part to let you know steps and things that you can do to get pre-approved for USDA mortgage loans. And so some more information coming directly from the HUD, from their web page, from their video page as well, and their seminars. Hopefully it can help somebody. They can use the information and put it forward and improve their situations.
All right. Peace, Mr. Zeno. He said I gotta rewatch this tonight. Yeah, it'll be available to watch. And Pamela Hall, just reach out to me and I'll help you with that situation. So it's not as hard as you think to overcome
Yeah.
that small challenge. Go ahead, Bones.
If you qualify for the FHA, then you have a good chance that you're going to qualify for the USDA, and you can use them hand in hand. A lot of these programs you can double up on and use hand in hand.
Say it again so they hear you.
A lot of the programs like the FHA and USDA, you can team them together to better your benefits with it. And if you qualify for the FHA, if you have a rural area, there's a good chance that you're also going to qualify for the same loan under the USDA.
Okay. Well, that's what's up, Mr. Zeno. Yeah, if you look on the Attackness Assembly website and also on the Grand Rising Show website, you'll see some of the other videos dealing with 184 and also other USDA information. So good stuff. Glad you were able to catch us. So you want me to go ahead and hit the button, Bone, so we can go ahead and show the video?
Yeah, you can press the button.
All right. So give me a second. Let me mute first.
We want to thank you for joining us for this video today, brought to you by USDA.
Yeah, Pamela Hall, releasing the individuals, and then we're going to try to at least come back once or twice a week with some more programs. So the next one that we'll be releasing information on will be for rural areas and farming and agriculture.
In this short video today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to get pre-approved for a USDA rural housing loan.
Peace, Trafita Gordon. What's up, cuz?
Just a quick overview of the USDA loan benefits for home buyers. The main benefit, of course, is that the USDA rural housing loan is still 100% financing, zero down payment required. This is great especially for first-time home buyers that may have limited funds or down payment that's often required for conventional and FHA loans. USDA also has flexible closing cost options. The home seller can pay the buyer's closing cost, or the buyer can even roll in their closing costs into the loan with a higher supporting value on the home appraisal. Any buyer can apply for the USDA loan. The program is not exclusive for only first-time home buyers. However, homeowners that do currently own a home now that wish to apply, there may be additional qualifying restrictions in place for buyers that do currently own a property. There is no purchase price or loan amount limits with the USDA Rural Housing Loan. Buyers will qualify based on their debt-to-income ratios. The USDA loan has low mortgage insurance, or PMI, is what most people know the term as, much less when compared to an FHA loan or conventional loans, higher loan-to-value conventional loans. Many locations across the country are still considered rural. Homebuyers would often are surprised to learn exactly what the deemed rural eligible areas are. For the USDA loan application, first and foremost, before you apply, the loan officer, loan specialist will want to know exactly what are your basic goals in purchasing a home. What type of home are you looking for? Also, what purchase price point that you have in mind, and any other requirements that you may have as far as the home itself goes, and the location, of course. What type of home are you looking for, the budget, and then what are your finances and credit like, and what type of mortgage program best fits your needs. The USDA loan, because you apply for that, doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the best option. There are many variables in place to determine that, and of course, loan specialists will discuss any other options that may fit your needs as well. First and foremost with the USDA loan is you want to find out if you're eligible. Unlike other loan programs, the USDA loan has really two critical factors in place regarding eligibility. Now, the qualifying criteria for a USDA loan is very similar to other government loan programs like an FHA loan. As far as credit score, in most cases, lenders will want to see a 620 or above credit score to be eligible. No serious financial recent hardships. Things of that nature are pretty much the same as all the other loan programs out there. However, USDA does have two eligibility factors that the other programs do not have. This is very important to note. First and foremost is the location of the home. The home must be located in a USDA approved rural location. There is an available map online where homeowners can search an address to figure out if the property is an eligible property. It's important to also remember that USDA, they're not concerned about who the seller of the home is, what type of sale the home is. If you buy a regular buy-owner type sale, or maybe even a bank foreclosure or a short sale, that's really not important. It's just where the home is physically located. That's the important part. And as long as it's located in an eligible area, and if it's a generally good moving condition home, single family home, it should be fine for the program. USDA also has household income limitations in place. This depends on the state and the county that you're located in, among other factors, like how many members are in the household, how many dependents are in the household, and some other factors. If you have any questions as far as approved locations and household income limits in your county, please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to discuss these things. Do you fit the USDA loan qualifying requirements? Again, that's the qualifying requirements and the eligibility requirements are different. The qualifying requirements, as we mentioned before, are much similar to other loan programs as far as credit and things of that nature. Again, the minimum qualifying requirements, most lenders and banks will require a 620 credit score. 620 credit score, though, does not guarantee loan approval. There will be additional requirements in place for any applicants that have had a recent financial hardship like a bankruptcy or a foreclosure. Even if your credit score is over the minimum requirement, there may be additional waiting periods in place. for, again, serious financial hardship. Employment history, 2 years stable employment with no significant gaps of employment. This doesn't really apply, though, to recent college graduates, as oftentimes they're exempt from that if they're finishing school and then going right into a new job. Banking, assets, USDA doesn't, there is no minimum requirements for assets like many other programs, which is another advantage, given that the program is 100% financing. So home buyers will want, though, to have all their banking and asset information, though, together. It will be reviewed, but there is no minimum requirements. The USDA loan application, starting the process is simple to do the application. Oftentimes it can be done in under 15 minutes. With the loan officer, once they figure out your basic goals, like we talked about before, they're going to ask you some simple questions. Most of the information you're going to know by heart. There's not really a lot of information there that's going to be tricky for you. Basically, your living history for the past 2 years, address, employment history for the last 2 years, the addresses and name of the employers for the last 2 years, income amount, gross income amount, and also the duration of your employment. Again, banking and asset information, any retirement accounts. They're just going to want to know what the amount of those accounts are, retirement accounts, 401k or IRA if applicable, social security number, date of birth, again, basic contact information, pretty much everything that you'll know by heart. And there'll be just some other yes and no questions that they'll ask you as well. Pretty standard, pretty easy, and again, oftentimes the loan application can be done in minutes. As far as documentation needed, applicants will want to have their last 2 years of tax returns in W-2s. Obviously, self-employed applicants, just 2 years of your full tax returns. Last 2 months of pay stubs and bank statements. Also a copy of your most recent retirement account statement, 401k or IRA if you have one. Copy of your ID or driver's license or passport if you have one. And those are really the basic. Now there could be some additional things depending on if you currently rent a home or own a home. There could be a couple other little things that may be needed. Once your loan pre-approval, your application's finished, the loan specialist generally calls you back within the same day and can let you know first and foremost if you are pre-approved for the program, and then at that point the loan officer will explain to you your loan pre-approval, let you know what the amount is that you're pre-approved for and what you can expect as far as real-world expenses with your taxes included. USDA, like a lot of loan programs today, they require escrows for taxes and homeowners insurance. That will be built into your monthly mortgage payment along with your monthly mortgage insurance. Loan officer will explain all those things and go over what the expenses are, you know, the interest rate you qualify for and things of that nature. Once that's completed and they've answered all your questions, they'll issue your letter of pre-approval. You'll want to hold on to this as a buyer once you go searching for that perfect home. The home seller and your realtor will oftentimes want to see that you do have your letter of pre-approval with you. That pretty much sums up the part as far as the loan pre-approval, pre-application, and then what happens after your application. Homeowners that have any questions or want to learn more information about USDA loans can reach out to us at usdamortgagehub.com, or again, just call us 7 days a week at 1-800-691-8826. And again, we service all 50 states. We look forward to assisting you soon. Thank you.
Hey.
All right. So we are back. Hopefully that information was helpful and beneficial. Uh, where you at?
Oh, right here.
Okay. I'm like, did everybody leave? Like, did everybody leave?
No. No, yeah. Like you were saying, hopefully the information is helpful and useful. And again, this is just one of their programs. This is for individual homeowners, you know, home buyers, and you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. But let's take it a little deeper, TMH, because we're always talking about communities and rebuilding our communities, right?
Exactly.
Do people realize these are the same programs that we can use to build our communities?
I don't think they do because most people are under the impression that there's only one way to do something, and because no one has showed them, or the majority of the more popular people in the conscious community haven't mentioned that it doesn't exist, not realizing that this information has been out since the 1940s. We just haven't taken advantage of it. And because we haven't taken advantage of it, many of us don't share that information, or the ones that do share the information do not come back and share it with the quote unquote conscious community, indigenous community, aboriginal community, or any community that is looking to do their genealogy and find out who they are. But yeah, there's so much that can be done with this, that this is just the beginning. This is not even a crumb of what can be done for our communities, for our tribes, for our neighborhoods. I mean, there is so much that can be done. There's so much resources, so many resources that are untapped by us. These resources are being tapped. They're just not being tapped by us for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. And like Free just posted in the chat, the Farm Bill and the USDA go hand in hand because the USDA is the overseer of the Farm Bill. And even with that, let's just think of it this way. What happens when a group gets together and decide to use these same things as a company? Then that allows you to buy whole areas and put houses up, forming whole communities, correct?
Exactly.
Using these agricultural grants, that allows you to buy land to start farming to produce your own food, correct?
Correct.
They even got grants and loans for businesses. So now these farms are going to need restaurants to prepare this food. They're going to need other outlet stores to sell this food. Oh, access them grants and you start building your stores. Relatives, y'all starting to see it?
And for those of you who have been following us and understand and looked at the bill that we did on the nonprofit organizations and how you can get electricity, morgues, and all those things done, then you'll see how it is possible for us to actually build our own communities and, build a better quote unquote Negro Wall Street. We don't need any sort of, and I say this without being disrespectful, but the reparations, none of that stuff is needed because that information, those resources were provided for us in the 1968 housing bill. We just were not informed that we had access to it. And the immigrants have been using those bills to do things in our communities since 1968. So now it's up to us to go back and access that information along with the USDA grants and all the other things that are available to us that we don't know that we have access to.
Correct. See the benefit of us using this information and applying it. And again, isn't the Consciousness Assembly a nonprofit organization designed with the intent of accessing these programs and information?
Exactly. We are a nonprofit organization, so we have access to this as well as many other services that are either free or at a significantly reduced rate to allow us to compete with the other hundreds and thousands of nonprofits that are operating that many people think are for-profit entities. All you have to do is apply. get active and get out there and do something. So yeah, there's no limit to what we can do.
So when people ask the question, relatives, on how we rebuild our communities, how we start rebuilding our own structures, this is the how. Just like how TMH mentioned, there's USDA grants for electricity, for solar panels, for running water. Matter of fact, there's enough grants to build a whole city.
Multiple cities.
The question is, what are we going to do? Are we going to sit back, wait for somebody to come do it for us? Or are we going to step forward and start accessing this and start building our communities? Start leaving something behind for our children.
And this is something we need to understand. We are not going to be able, and I hate to say this, but we must, this is something that needs to be addressed. We are not going to be able to build a virtual city through YouTube. You have to get out in your community and go do something. It doesn't matter how many people that we connect with on YouTube. If they don't live in our neighborhood and they don't live in our area, then it's going to be very difficult to connect, because that means now you have to form partnerships with those individuals, and now you have to go see them. Either get in a car, get on a plane, but you will need to leave your domicile to go do some work with these individuals. So the easiest thing to do is start where you are. That's just my piece of advice. Take it or leave it.
I mean, you're 100% correct on that.
I'm gonna go ahead and take it.
All the mechanisms that we need is there. The ball is in our corner. What are we going to do? Are we going to complain? Or are we going to get up and do something about it? And also, like we mentioned as well, in your areas, A2 is designed so these same grants that's in your areas to help rebuild communities, we're here to access them. But it only works when the individuals of the community start applying themselves. Who knows the needs of the individual better than the individual? You know your needs. So you're finding your needs, and we're tying into these programs to improve on our needs, to improve our situations. But again, it only works if we use it. It only works once we get up from behind these keys and screens and reach out and start communicating with each other again, building with each other again.
That's what it boils down to, because the only way we're going to be able to build our tribes up, build our communities up, is to go out and talk, to communicate. Use your vocal cords, use your mouth. The keyboard of doom, that's cool, but I can't take this keyboard out into the city with me. People gonna look at me like I'm crazy. So I got to go out and use my words. Go out and I got to speak to people. Who are the leaders in your community? Who are the ones that are running for office? Those individuals you need to talk to, because those individuals you have the most direct effect on, because they're in your community. Do not wait for your local election. I mean, don't wait for your federal election to go vote for a politician that is already entrenched and is already, got palms that they need to massage and they need to take care of. By the time it's too late, you get a hold of these politicians when they're in your towns, when they're in your cities, when they're in your areas. That way you have a vested interest, you have their ear, you have their time. You're not going to be able to get a hold of them once they get in the office in the state or the federal representative, because now they're up there with individuals that have more influence, that have already helped them and they've made promises to. Just something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So, does anybody have any questions? Again, these videos will be on all of the outlets, the YouTube outlets, Autochthonous Assembly YouTube page, and also the Cab Grand Rising YouTube page, which is what you see. And that's also going to be available on the Autochthonous Assembly website. And eventually, it's going to be posted on the on 8 TV, American, what is it? American Indian Network TV. So you'll be able to see it and catch it there too. That's our 24-hour TV station. So, am I missing anything, Bones?
Nope, done caught it all.
So, I guess we might as well go ahead and let these people get on with the rest of their day, do our salutations, and be out, right?
Mm-hmm.
No sellout. What you got for the people, boss?
Nothing much. Just appreciate everybody for showing up this evening for this impromptu. Well, I guess it was kind of planned, but just check out the information, people. It's public information. No gatekeepers. Nobody is holding down the fort with the information and not letting you know about it. Like TMH said, it's going to be posted everywhere. So questions, comments, concerns, and or corrections, please email us at octoctonusassembly@gmail.com. Peace, y'all.
All right. And Mrs. Zeno, to answer that question, outside of Section 8, how can multiple family homeowners guarantee residence? There is something called HUD Section 3 and HUD Section 9. And we've actually done videos on that. That's on the Octoctus Assembly website. We also have a forum that's going to be addressing that as well, because we got projects that are coming up. And depending on what city and state that you're in, we may be able to help you and get in contact with that representative in that area, because every area has a HUD rep that understands or should understand the Section 3 portion of that will definitely help with the guaranteed residence. So just reach out to us, and we will do what we can to facilitate and give you that information free of charge. With that being said, I want to send a shout out to the chat. Best chat ever. Send a shout out, peace to the new subscribers, and for those of you who listen and who watch, but don't post or chat. You just take the information and you use it for your family, you use it for your community, you use it for your relatives, and if you so choose, you use it for your tribe. So with that being said, I'm done, and Mrs. Zeno says go live more often. Well, actually, Mrs. Zeno, we're live every morning, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Same channel. So if you click that bell, you should be able to get that information, and we'll be able to provide that live info for you. But with that, Bones, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your salutations, and I'm done. I'll let you to Mike.
All right. Thanks for the panel for the time that they put in for this. Thanks for the best chat ever. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. We'll be talking to ourselves. And also, as we bring this information, remember, it does us no good if we do not apply it. Remember, trying will always trump a failure. Try always trump failure. Let's no longer be them people that sit down and talk about what if or maybe, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Let's get up and let's do. And on that note, look forward to seeing everyone on the Rising Show. Tomorrow's Rising. Everyone continue with your blissful day. And until we link up again, peace.
Peace, y'all.